Seriously?
Hey guys, jingle bells, Merry Christmas.
Stevo smells.
Whoo! How are we doing?
Starny ran away.
Oh, that's thrown me. I wish we'd made up some lyrics now. I can't think on the fly.
Fred smoked a spliff.
Yeah.
I took a whiff and then ran away.
So, yes, I am joined yet again by Mr. Dim Reaper.
Hello.
Am I pointing? I think I'm pointing in the right direction. I hope I am.
Just do a dread and point deliberate. Just point in what you think is the right direction,
Anywhere,
and that's
anywhere.
enough.
So, yeah, look, what's this video all about? You've probably seen by the thumbnail and the title already. It's Christmas, so we just want to do something a little bit different. A little bit like we did on Halloween. We want to talk about our other love, movies. And we've done it before with our Halloween special, which nobody saw. But if you are interested at all in scary movies and horror movies, then follow the link that will be popping on the screen to check out that video we did a little while back. That was about our top 5 favorite horror movies. And so you got a top 10 in there, you know, my top 5 and Dim's top 5s. And we did a lot of talk about horror movies, plus a few honorable mentions. It's a good watch. Go and watch it. Go and check it out if you're at all interested in that sort of thing. But it's not Halloween now. It is the season of goodwill and giving and loving and all that fuzzy, warm feelings. Hence the Christmas jumpers and the Christmas hat that I will take off now as well, because it is getting very hot and I'll reveal my bald head in all its glory. So
I'm also adjusting my my Gremlins Christmas jumper quite a lot. I'm doing the Picard mover a lot.
Well, your jumper, yeah, I've got the holidays are coming, which it's not Christmas until that advert comes on telly. I don't think it's, and I presume they get that worldwide. If you're watching this video from other countries, then let us know in the comments if you get the Coca-Cola traditional advert. I'm sure
It's not Christmas. It's not Christmas until you see the meme that says it's not Christmas until you've seen the meme of it's not Christmas until you've seen the meme of it's not Christmas until you've seen Hans Gruber fall off Nakatomi Plaza. So, you know, by that process,
oh man,
by that process, you determine Christmas around about the middle of October.
Yeah. Your meme mention and your Christmas jumper mention has just straight away brought us into 2 movies that I know both of us want to talk about. What do we go with first? Gremlins or Die Hard? Because
we should probably say we are doing, like, we did like a formal list last time, didn't we? And like this time we're just gonna, they're all presents. We're just gonna open them randomly and chat about them.
Yeah,
it's Gremlins because I imagine we're probably going to talk about Die Hard quite a bit.
Now we
blow our load straight away.
We spoke about Gremlins because now I don't want to give any spoilers, but Gremlins. Well, this is a spoiler. If you are going to go back and watch our horror video, Gremlins was in that as well. It's in 2 categories. It is both, in our opinion, and we're making the video, so that's all that matters really. In our opinion, Gremlins is a horror movie and a Christmas movie. It is, and it's I mean, it starts off. The opening scene from Gremlins is the beautiful, quintessential little small town covered in snow. Kids throwing snowballs at everything. Christmas music playing. I can't remember what song it's playing in the opening of Gremlins. What one is it? It's escaped me, but it's playing a very famous Christmas song at the beginning of it. Christmas, snow's coming down, Chris. That's the one that's playing. And with the radio DJ, what's his name? Rocking Ronnie or Rocking Reggie or something. who later gets attacked in the film, if I remember correctly, when they
I
hear
was
him.
gonna say,
Hey,
yeah.
you're not a Rocky fan. Yeah. Rockin' Ricky, that's his name.
Rockin' Ricky, yeah,
Rockin'
that's it.
Ricky. Hey, what's
I
that?
knew it
More
was
Rockin'
something
Ricky
like
fan? Hey, you're not a Rockin' Ricky fan. And the Gremlins tearing up the studio, and yeah, but it's a Christmas movie, man, isn't it? It's just covered in Christmasness.
I need to watch it again because it's been a
Mhm.
long time since I watched it. I tend to just watch the second one because it's funnier.
Yeah,
But
which you think is the superior movie, don't
I
you?
do think it's a superior movie, but it's weird because it's not it doesn't even try to be scary really. It's got a few
No.
jump scares,
Yeah.
and there are some certain bits that if you've got phobias for certain
arachnophobe.
things, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
And also it's got Christopher Lee, who is just scary in everything. But never reached a peak of more scariness than he did when he was filming Lord of the Rings, and happened to point out that he knew exactly how a person who had been stabbed in the back
Yeah.
sounded like.
Yes, I
'Cause he
remember the
did
bit
work
on
for
the.
And then dropped a little truth bomb about the fact he used to be in British intelligence.
Yeah, and how yeah, when you're stabbed in the back, you don't scream. It's a sharp intake of breath, but you can't actually inhale because yeah. Yeah, he knew a little too much. But we're getting sidetracked here, aren't we? Gremlins 1. It's yeah, it's Santa Claus, isn't it? Getting attacked by the Gremlins. You remember when the police are pulled up and they see all the chaos going on? They're like, "Hey, who's that?"
That's one thing. That's one thing I need to mention, right? Because a lot of people go, "Oh, well, the second one was too meta." I'm just like, did you watch the first one? They literally attack Santa Claus.
Yeah. Oh, there's
And
so many.
Screw up the radio show with perfect comic timing. Like the meta was always there. They just
They
dial it
just
up a little
for the
more.
second one, they just dialed it up, didn't they? There's the spoofy nature of it, the comedy angle of it. They just cranked that right up and took it to new levels. But the first one certainly has its charms, and it's and like I say, the small town, the Christmas vibes going on. It's just got that magical kind of Christmas feeling with it, with Gremlins in there fucking everything up, and Mrs. Deagle. Special mention for Mrs. Deagle. She is awesome. Like she plays that part
badass.
so well. When she's talking about torturing his dog and stuff, like he's because he broke her valuable snowman ornament that she's got, and it's like, what would you do to him? And he's like, I put him in the dryer on high heat. And you got the guy in the back with the pipe. He's like, yep, that'll do it. And she gets one of the best deaths ever in the stairmaster. Not a stairmaster, that's an exercise to get the stair lift in her thing when the Gremlins fuck about with it. And Gremlins acting as carol singers. She's out ready to throw the water over him. And na, 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 na. So good, so good. I can see by your face you're already thinking I might have to watch that tonight.
Yeah, I think it's probably getting watched tonight or tomorrow. It's probably.
But yeah,
I'm going to start gearing up to watching Christmas films. It's kind of ironic. Are we doing this before watching Christmas films?
Yeah. Well, I started watching a Christmas movie last night with my daughter. My daughter's 4 years old, and for me and her to find something that we both enjoy, not something that I just put up with to keep her quiet, put on Elf, and we started watching that, and she was captivated by it. And which was fantastic for me because I really like that Christmas movie as well. Definitely one of Will Ferrell's best movies, and it seems to just get better and better with each passing year. And yeah, it's got some great scenes, especially at the beginning, the first sort of half an hour or so, when he's in the North Pole with Santa and the elves, and some of the gags and stuff they do there, and how he's in elf school, and you've got the little I can't remember the cartoon that they kind of riffed off, and they've got some of the animals out, and they're sort of like claymation kind of characters, like the little penguin and the walrus, I think, that talk to him, and even the bigger what are those sea creatures called? They've got they're like a manatee or something. It's got the big horn coming out. You see him. He jumps onto the little icicle thing on the ice to sort of go off and find his real dad in New York. But the big like walrus thing comes out of the water. Narwhal. That's what it's called. Yeah. Pops out and it goes, "Hey buddy, hope you find your dad." It's just like really cool moments like that. And yeah, he's what I imagine Dredd being like on Christmas, just like so enthusiastic. Like I can imagine that from Dredd, like Santa's coming, like,
right down to the point at which it stops being endearing and starts being annoying.
Yeah, totally.
And blissfully oblivious to when that point has arrived for everybody else. Yeah.
Comment sections exploding, blissfully unaware. God bless him.
Oh wow, we're starting late on the Dredd bashing.
It's kind of expected now, isn't it? It's kind of expected. And any new viewers tuning into this who literally just look for videos about movies wonder what the hell we're going on about right now. But yeah, Elf's one of my favorite ones. It's a good family film. It's a Will Ferrell film that's kind of safe to watch with younger kids as well, because some of his other ones are a little bit more risque. But yeah, I think that's a fantastic one. But we can't put it off anymore, man. Die Hard.
I was wondering how long it would take, but yeah.
Where do the viewers stand? Is it a Christmas movie?
Of course it's a Christmas film. Why are we entertaining this ridiculous notion that it somehow isn't a Christmas film?
We're not. I invited them to comment just so I can tell them how wrong they are. Die Hard is 100% a Christmas movie. Yeah. Again, like Gremlins, at the start of the movie, it starts off with Christmas songs on Christmas Day with snow, and it's Christmas.
Seeing as we are launching into sort of Die Hard now, this is probably as good a time as any to talk about what makes a Christmas film and what makes a good Christmas film.
There are movies about Christmas. There are movies that are all about Christmas, about, obviously like about Santa Claus, about elves, about the presents, about all that stuff, and there's no debate on them. Clearly Christmas movies. But then there's other type of movies like Die Hard, like Gremlins, that don't sell themselves as Christmas movies, but are sort of set at Christmas and have Christmas themes running throughout. That, again, I still feel are Christmas movies. And then you've got even probably more contentious ones, is movies traditionally shown at Christmas that have nothing to do with Christmas. But I personally, for one, The Great Escape, it's a Christmas movie because it's always traditionally shown on Christmas Day. It's got absolutely fuck all to do with Christmas, but for me, it's a Christmas movie. It just is.
I kind of get that with a little extent with The Fugitive as well, because that always used to be on around Christmas time.
It can be a personal thing as well, can't it? It's a very kind of nostalgic, personal thing. Like as a child, I always kind of saw Star Wars as Christmas movies as well, because I always remember my earliest memories of watching the Star Wars films always used, whether that was because they put them on telly around that time or something, it just gave me that sort of Christmassy feeling. Same as the Harry Potter movies as well.
Well, it's probably a number of combinations of factors, but I think basically what it will boil down to is that big movies like that probably cost a bit to put on the television. And you couple that with the fact that, what does any TV network want when they put something out? At least back in our day, what did a TV network want? They wanted viewers.
Yeah.
So like the one time you've got a captive audience because you've got the whole family probably there.
And it would be as a time when it's that time when the whole family settle down together, which doesn't happen too often, especially less and less these days, I think. When a movie comes out, especially back in our day, when you didn't have all the streaming services and things, and movies took a long time to come out on video cassette after they'd been in the cinema. These are all terms youngsters go, what the fuck is he talking about? But yeah, it's settled down. You've got your tin of chocolates going round, and you're settled down to watch, and you get, it's just that warm, fuzzy, Christmassy feeling that you get in those Christmas movies. But yeah, I think there's a lot of movies that aren't Christmas movies at all. But for me, on a personal level and a nostalgic level, there'll always be kind of Christmas movies. Me and my missus, we went away on holiday to Wales a couple of years ago, and we bought all the Harry Potter movies with us, and we did a marathon of the Harry Potter movies in the middle of nowhere, cold, surrounded by mountains and stuff. It wasn't snowing, but it was a Christmassy vibe going on just a few days before Christmas, and watched all them. And there's something about them films that, for me, brings a very Christmassy kind of feeling to it. But yeah, how about you? What makes a Christmas movie for you? What is it that?
I think in order for it to be properly a Christmas film, because the way that you almost always get a setup of a film, there's various ways of a film telling a kind of story, but you normally have a hero, a struggle, and then a payoff, right? For me, what makes a Christmas film is that the struggle has something thematically to do with it being Christmas. So, like, say, trying to get home for it.
Yeah.
Trying to make it the perfect family one. Getting lost somewhere, or your entire family going away and leaving you behind for Christmas. Or, you know, going to your estranged wife's Christmas party and then terrorists attack.
Yeah, totally. Well, and by your definition of what a Christmas movie is, then Die Hard is uncategorically a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
he is facing those challenges.
Points. Yeah, there's too many plot points. Yeah, there's too many plot points that are contingent on it being Christmas. Now, granted, some people could say, well, it could just as easily be about Thanksgiving. Well, then it would be a Thanksgiving film. But no, it's not. It wasn't set during Thanksgiving. It was set during Christmas. Fuck you. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, it's a Christmas film, and so is the second one. And I know I mentioned this in another video. I don't know if we're mentioning,
which will be coming up soon.
Yeah, because I presume this is coming out first, right?
I think we're recording this one after the other one, but this one will be shown first.
Right? Yeah. So this gets talked about a little bit then, but I mean, I'll make the point again. The second one is also a Christmas film.
Oh yeah,
because if it wasn't a Christmas film, McClane's parking ticket, which is the single causal part of the narrative as to why this whole thing's happened, would never have been reversed. So you wouldn't have got the payoff. It couldn't have been a Christmas film. It couldn't have been a film with a decent film payoff without it being Christmas.
Yeah.
Because the ticket gets torn up as it's like, it's Christmas. So it has to be a Christmas film.
Totally. And you're saying about, trying to, during
Spoilers.
The course of a film, trying to get home for Christmas, trying to save Christmas or something like that. I mean, John McClane is saving a lot of families' Christmas there, isn't he? Because he's keeping an airport,
and there is at least one child involved. Because one of the hostages is pregnant. So
it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Die Hard 2. I watched Die Hard 2 and I know all the way through like this is nowhere.
Why are you feeling guilty?
As good as the first one, and it's like when you compare it to the first one with a full movie critical hat on, it's like it's clearly just a shadow of the first one. But I bloody love it.
It's got death from Bill and Ted. Shadow boxing in the nude.
True. Yes. Yeah.
What more do you want?
All about, but yeah.
It's got the T-1000.
Yes,
or T-2000 or whatever it is. A sitting duck.
Yeah, a great Christmas movie. I know a lot of people think of the James Bond movies as well. A lot of the time, again, have a sort of a nostalgic Christmassy vibe to them, even though not sure. Well, I think one of the Bond girls is called Christmas on one of the movies, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
It is Christmas Jones, and that is Denise
That's
Richards'
it,
character, and that
yes.
is The World Is Not Enough. Oh my God, I'm such a geek.
And I'm trying to remember the line. He was it? He said,
I
Christmas
thought Christmas only
early,"
comes once a year.
Yes, it.
Uh,
Just smooth. But yeah, we've what about more traditional Christmas? I know we've mentioned Elf. We've gone with Gremlins, Die Hard, etc. But what everyone can 100% agree on as Christmas movies, like movies that are properly about Christmas. That is,
well, you've got the sort of golden oldies, don't you? Because you've got like the one that I always remember, although I never really had much of a regard for it, is It's a Wonderful Life.
Which also appears in Gremlins.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Is it? It is it's in the first one, isn't it? It's on the TV.
Yeah,
in the first
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I would say It's a Wonderful Life is just kind of taking Citizen Kane and mixing it with. Well, it's just an American retelling of Christmas Carol, which
I'm really embarrassed to say actually I've never actually watched It's a Wonderful Life all the way through. It's kind of one of them films that everyone, I suppose, should see, shouldn't it? It's one of the ones that you kind of expect people to have seen. But yeah, I've never. I know the key moments of it because I've seen it on so many list shows and stuff of like the greatest Christmas movies ever, and it's always right up there. And so I know the key points of it. I know the story of it, but yeah, I've never actually sat down and watched it all the way through. One for me that's a sort of a nostalgic one from childhood is Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore and everything.
Oh, I thought you were going for a different one.
No, yeah, Santa Claus movie. I think the 80s. It's in the 80s at some point, and I thought that was like the documentary. I thought that was like the true life Santa Claus story. Like when I was a real young nipper watching. I do
vaguely remember when Dudley Moore basically couldn't get arrested. I do remember that period vaguely. The only films I can really remember of that is Arthur. That's the only one I can really remember.
Arthur, yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one. Yeah, Arthur Christmas.
No. Arthur, the film that Dudley Moore was in.
Oh, I get you.
Although Arthur Christmas, yeah, that is a good film. I was quite surprised. I watched it. Basically got kind of had to endure it. I can't remember why. Maybe a young relative was watching it or something, but it was on the TV and it was a bit of a captive audience for it. It turned out it was actually not a bad film.
Some of them can surprise you, and me and the missus have been watching a few Christmas movies lately, actually, over the last week or so on like Netflix and stuff. And what's the one we watched for the first time? The Tom Hanks one, the North Pole Express, the Polar Express.
The Polar Express,
Polar Express, which was good, but the characters on it look a bit freaky.
Yeah, it's
devoid of humanity.
Yeah, it's very uncanny valley.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah. But it's good. It's a good movie, and Tom Hanks is great in it, like he is in everything. Probably my favourite actor of all time. Generally, it doesn't matter what the plot of a film is or anything. If say Tom Hanks is in it, I'm like, I'm in. But yeah, that was quite a good one. And we watched also the Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. And thoroughly enjoyed them.
That's the Kurt Russell one, isn't it?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed them. Great casting. Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. Who would have thought it? Actually really works well. And he's kind of a bit of a badass in it. He kind of, it just touches on Santa Claus almost becoming a bit of an action hero, but just enough that it doesn't go too far and make it stupid. But it's just enough that it's like, oh, Santa's pretty badass.
Gruber effect, I see.
Yeah, but yeah, he's pretty cool. So that's some recent ones that have come out. Christmas Chronicles certainly, which I was surprised.
All I know about it is that I think it's the second one, isn't it? Has his wife in it.
Yes, Mrs. Claus, played by Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn, who is Kurt Russell's real life wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, both very good.
So I imagine
movies.
the chemistry
Easy
between the
watch.
two of them is good because it's
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I think that's another key point of what makes a good Christmas movie, isn't it? Is an easy watch. You don't generally want something too heavy. It's just got to bring out those feelings, those warm, fuzzy, festive feelings in you, and those ones tick the boxes for me. But there's one that I can't believe we haven't mentioned yet, which for me is right up there. If we were doing a more structured video now, and we were doing our top fives, this would definitely be in there along with Gremlins and Die Hard. Probably be at number one for me, Home Alone. That for me is kind of the pinnacle of a Christmas movie.
I think for most of my childhood, Home Alone 1 and 2 was the ultimate Christmas film.
Yeah.
And then when I reached teenage years, another film supplanted that, and I'll talk about that later.
I think
I'll talk about my number one down the line. But
I was basically about Macaulay Culkin's age at the time of the film coming out, so you could kind of relate to it at watching it. And I think most people, when they see it for the first time, are probably at around that age when they watch the movie and can relate to his character and stuff, and how the family don't understand him. The parents are always yelling at him. He always feels like he's getting the blame for everything, and he just wishes his family would just clear off, and he gets his wish. And then and what kid doesn't want to booby trap their house and set traps for the wet bandits, who are two of the best villains in movie history, because they're just so damn likable and brilliant.
And two of the best character actors. I just wish I can remember the tall one. I mean, obviously the short one's Joe Pesci.
Yes.
Because I want to do a bit of swatting. I mean, I'm normally half decent on names, but it's not always reliable because I'm not very good at remembering names.
I'm horrendous with names, but yeah, the tall one has probably the
funniest
funniest moments in it. Marv, yes.
Yeah. But I wish I could remember his name, but he's really, 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 they're both really good at it. He
probably has, for me, like the three funniest moments in the movie. And I'll go over them now. There's the one where he's trying to get in the door, and Kevin McAllister has electrified it, so he gets the electric shock. And when you see him screaming, he's oh! And if for a split second it splits, you see his skeleton there going, ah! He gets that. Then he's going up the stairs with the tar on the stairs, and it's the nail in the foot.
Yeah.
Oh, as his shoes and socks are off, and nail in the foot. And that scene makes me wince every time. I can never look. I always turn away at that point when you see his foot.
Do it brilliantly. They do it brilliantly.
Yeah, perfect editing, perfect shot, and everything, and you feel it. You feel it, yeah. And you feel sorry for the villains of the movie, because I mean, Kevin is ruthless on them. I mean, they go through some shit, and then the last bit, the bit that I just find hilarious every time I see it, is when the other one has walked through the sticky cling film, and then the fan's gone with the feathers all over him. And they run into the room and they find each other after trying to get into the house and going for all this. And he says, why have you taken your shoes and socks off? And he's like, why are you dressed like a chicken? Such a good film. So good.
My favorite bit of those two is where there's a bit, I can't remember whether it's the first or the second one, but there's a bit where they communicate wordlessly after some serious ordeals on the both part, and it's just like just pointing at injuries and just going, that happened. No, just can't say anything. The words fail them. And it's just freaking great. I mean, obviously they dial it up because it's a kids' film, but it's really, really good.
It's so iconic, isn't it? God, I've used that word again. Jeez. Oh, by the way, drinking game people, go back, watch the Halloween special. Every time I say the word iconic, take a shot of something. You'll be dead by the end of the episode. I was watching it back in the editing. I'm like, stop saying iconic. You're like overusing the bloody word.
Hey, it could be worse. You could be Ubisoft. You could ruin the word completely. But You two could own this iconic baseball cap. Fuck off yourself.
Yeah, I've bought some tat from Ubisoft over the years.
But
the movie in it, Angels with Dirty Faces. The old black and white movie that he's watching, like Keep the Change, you filthy animal.
yeah,
Is a lot of people think is an old black and white movie.
they made it for
They made it for that.
Yeah.
And I saw that again recently on another film I was watching, and I wish I could remember what movie it was. I was watching a movie very recently, quite a new movie, I think, and they had a TV on, and that movie, and I was like, that's the movie from Home Alone.
It is used in both films.
Yes. And is it the same movie, or is it I think it's a sequel to the movie?
Sequel.
So there's a sequel within a sequel of the whole. It's kind of one of these, like, and when you watch it, I've always thought, like, I kind of want to watch that movie because that movie looks really fucking cool. It looks like a really good gangster movie. But I love the way they use it.
It is Cagney. It is Cagney doing Cagney.
Yeah.
Because he is basically doing the impression of him.
Yeah.
In a meta narrative where he is the horrible gangster that he kind of became typecast as.
That's why I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 because you're filthy. I love the use of it on the second one, because the second one as well, Home Alone 2, again gets massive criticism, and kind of got slated.
I don't know why.
Seen as a lazy cash in, and in lots of ways it is. It's just a repeat. It's like, well, let's do the same thing, but instead of in a house, we'll do it in a city. We'll do it in New York, which is like, New York's kind of the Christmas city, isn't it? If you're going to set a movie at Christmas time, what city we're going to put it in? It's like New York. When you think of New York, it's been used in so many movies for Christmas and stuff, and it is. It's repeating the same beats and it follows the same plot. But it's brilliant.
The same
it's
creepy,
great.
Marginalized person who helps.
Yes, yeah. You got the bird lady, haven't you? Rather than the snow shoveler man,
scary murderer man.
Yeah. And you've got Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry is
so good in it. So good.
The future president of the United States, formerly.
who is in the scene where they use the Angels with Dirty Faces bit against him, where he's got the footage from his uncle in the shower. You get out of there, you little perv. And it's the scene where it's like during Angels with Dirty Faces, he's sort of making them say like he loves them, and that he's like, I love you. It's just, yeah, so good. So good. And they're both Home Alone 1 and 2. I'm not going to talk about the other ones because they don't exist to me. But they are just perfect Christmas movies for me. Yeah. And they'd probably be number one for me. And they're the movies that literally, no matter what age you are, the whole family can enjoy them, I think. But I've waxed on about Home Alone long enough.
I do want to say though, this is conveniently allowing me to enact a kind of cardinal rule that I have of when I'm talking about light-hearted comedy or family films. It's a good opportunity to talk about, to start talking about John Candy, because he is in it. He's got like
God rest his soul.
He's it's a small part, but he did it as a favor, didn't he? Because it was supposed to be somebody else, and they couldn't do it. We are. This is basically just Minty's bloody trivia.
Totally in it as well, isn't he? And I completely forgot. Yeah, it's fantastic, and he's great in it.
Yeah, it's part of the band.
Yeah,
gets Kevin's mother home.
I wish I could remember the name of all their hit singles now when he's telling her about them, and even as he's running through, because he's asking if she's ever heard of them, and he's talking about all their Christmas songs that they've released. And I wish I could remember the names of them all now, but he runs through them real quickly.
One of them definitely ends umpire.
Yeah,
I'm sure of that, but I don't recall.
But they're all really good, and he talks about leaving his son at home at one time. He said, "Oh, don't worry about it," and then he starts talking about how the therapy sessions have helped him since and stuff. He's trying to make her feel better, and it's just not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, little cameo sort of role it, but really good. Like he does in everything. When he's on screen, he steals the show, doesn't he? John Candy's. But I know there's another film with him in a more prominent position that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was just thinking, mate, a bit, seeing as we've talked about Macaulay Culkin, we might as well just continue it and just go straight into Uncle Buck. There's yet another one of his that I want to talk about as well, but I fucking love Uncle Buck. I think it's a really, really good film, and it is sort of Christmassy. It's not really, because it's not consistently. I think Christmas happens during it rather than anything else. It's not a Christmas film in that sense, but it involves Christmas and it involves John Candy, so we're fine.
Yeah,
it's a really, really good film, and the two kids probably steal the show, even though John Candy's there. But John Candy does that thing of just let them steal it, you know.
Yeah, very good child actors.
He's very good at playing off people, and that's always very rarely an aspect about him that's praised.
The scene where he's being interrogated by the boy
is brilliant.
Is sublime, isn't it? It's used on all the trailers and everything. You ask a lot of questions. I'm a kid, it's my job. Yeah, great movie.
It's so good.
But I think the other one you want to talk about, Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Christmas films. I try to watch it as often as I can. It's got that one element of comedy that I always struggle with, which is sort of cringe, embarrassment comedy. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, you got to go watch it at your eyes, because you're like, oh no, don't. Oh, so much bad stuff happens to Steve Martin during it that you're just like, you find it hard to watch after. Like, give him a break, man. Give him a break. He's just trying to get home to his family for Christmas. Like his boss is an asshole. Everything's going wrong for him. Everything, and it's heartbreaking to watch. And I think as an adult, you can relate to it more and more. Like the stresses and the struggles, and him just trying to get home to his family for Christmas. It's and we were talking before, haven't we? It is Christmas he's trying to get back for, isn't it? Not Thanksgiving.
I think it's Christmas. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's Christmas.
But you know what, guys? Even if it is Thanksgiving,
don't care.
Fuck it. It's Christmas.
well, A, it's Christmas, and B, Brits don't really have the Thanksgiving thing.
No, it's not a holiday we have. So anything that's a Thanksgiving movie,
we kind of
Britain becomes a Christmas movie.
Yeah, we kind of because it's
get out of jail free card, man. Get out of jail free. We're covered. We're British. We can get away with it. I wonder if that's
it's
ever
so
been
close
said
to Christmas,
before.
and we have the big meal with the turkey. That's when we have it. And I mean, although I can't remember the last time I had turkey for Christmas. Actually, no, I tell a lie. Last year we did, but we did it because we usually don't.
Yeah, we always have chicken. We just get
it's
chicken.
It's just like the thing is
which is all the turkey
is great.
is.
Turkey is fantastic, but really you need to cook it well and season it correctly, and nobody bothers. So this is dry. Yeah, it's dry. Oh, it's dry and flavorless. Yes, it's dry and flavorless because you didn't cook it properly and you didn't season it.
Turkey is just a big chicken that doesn't taste quite as good as chicken.
You can make it good. You can make it good.
You can.
My friend makes a mean turkey. It's ridiculous. Like they go to the effort and they season it, and like I came over I popped over on the Boxing Day and they still had a load of it left, and they were eating it in sandwiches, and just I had some of it. I was just like, oh my god, is this turkey? It is really turkey. Yeah. But so we don't really have the Thanksgiving thing, so we often combine the two.
We just make them Christmas movies. But I mean, the celebrations are so close together that they kind of merge a little bit anyway, don't they? But yeah, that film is hilarious, cringy at times, and beautiful as well. Like,
you've got it
beautiful. It really hits you in the feels, right? There's a couple of moments in it that hit you, because John Candy is annoying. His character and Steve Martin's character is
Very
very stressed, very just fed up of people's shit. And he is dealt with some crap already up to this point. And John Candy during this movie is really getting on his tits and really just winding him up. And he goes into this tirade on him, telling him everything that's wrong with him. He just unleashes on him. And he's like telling him how annoying he is and how he doesn't like him and how he you know, and he just unleashes. Like we've all done that sort of thing when we lose our temper and stuff. And he's just done it. And you say a load of things you regret. And he's really quite horrible to him. And John Candy like looks really hurt by it. And he just comes back with this sort of this monologue sort of speech that is beautiful and kind of heart-wrenching, and it really just gets you. Yeah, and he's like, look, you know, you might not like me. He said, but I like me. You know, my wife likes me, and I can't do it justice, but you have to watch it. But it's beautiful, and he does these moments so well.
Yeah. There's a reason why those films kind of died, is because like we lost actors like that who could do it.
Yeah, who can really pull off the comedy, but also get you in the feels as well, and do those dramatic moments. And he does that so well. And it's I won't spoil the ending for you, even though it's a very old film now. If anyone who hasn't seen it,
like all of our films are old. Like the what's the term?
Retro nostalgia.
Statute of limitations is well fucking spent.
Yeah.
Like I mean these films are still worth watching, but I mean if you haven't seen them by now, I mean maybe you totally should. I mean,
yeah. I mean maybe some of the younger viewers might not have seen some of these, and but go to check them out. Honestly, Planes, Trains, Automobiles, to see that it's
worth it for his rant when he has his rant at the woman who's selling the cars, and she's just unbelievably cheery, and he's
want a fucking car, and I want a fucking car now. If you get that fucking, it's just it's so good. And we've all felt like that at times. You can totally relate to him at that, getting rude service from someone, and some smug asshole with a name badge, you know, just giving you shit. And yeah, it's so good, and it's and you're right behind him, and you think, yeah, go on, give it to her, get in there. And she totally screws him over. He gets stuck with the really shit card.
Well, this is the thing. It's the great thing, though, of you get the catharsis of what you've always wanted to do, and then be immediately confronted with the consequences of why you don't do that.
Yeah, and what would happen? What would happen?
Because the thing is she's following the letter of his complaint, but making it abundantly clear, if you're rude to me, I'm not going to help you. And it's just, you get what you ask for, you know. It's yeah, but it does remind me of the one time, like, and I regret this kind of, but like, in Britain, you don't tend to get an awful lot of that soulless, unbelievable positivity. You do in certain places insist on it, and some places actually you like just outright hostile. Like I made the mistake of going into an Apple store once and couldn't believe how unbelievably rude they are.
Yeah,
but it's because like it's such the des res thing. They don't need to be fucking nice to you, because if it matters to you that much, you're gonna buy it, you know. But like there's some places I've gone where it's just like hollow stuff, and it's just like I was having a particularly bad day, and this doesn't happen very often because I'm the silent introvert type. Not that anybody who watches my YouTube videos would ever think that, but I am. And I tend to be very cautious about saying things because I've got anxiety. But I was just having a really, really bad day. I'd had some incredibly bad news. I wasn't feeling it. And someone went, "Have a nice day." And I just went, "Don't burden me." That horse shit. Because it's like I can't remember what comedian it was that said it, but it's like that's the problem with "have a nice day." It's burdening you with the responsibility of having to go out and have a nice day.
Yeah,
it's George Carlin. But yeah, it's actually incredibly rude. I want to have a rotten day. Ask me to have a crappy day. That's fucking easy.
Well, as we're on this cynical viewpoint as well, a movie I have to mention, Bad Santa. Definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies. And if you're at all cynical, if you're at all sort of, if life's beating you down and you hate everyone and you just fed up with everyone's shit and you're not feeling festive and you just want to be miserable and left the fuck alone and have annoying people out of your face, and it's the movie that's going to speak to you. Billy Bob Thornton, who is in this movie, just my favorite performance from him. He's just lost all hope, and he is a cynical, miserable, hateful bastard. He really is. But the important part about the movie, and it makes great comedy on that as well. I mean, he says and does stuff that is deplorable throughout the film. He's not a nice person, and he takes advantage of people, and he does some horrendous things throughout the course of this movie. But the important bit that just saves it and keeps it being a Christmas movie, apart from the obvious things of being set at Christmas and whatnot, and during that time, there is a good person in there. And he does have a soul, and there is goodness within him that only comes out at the very end of the movie, but doesn't lose any of the charm and the character of what makes him him. But it's just, it's not a movie you can sit down and watch with your family, because it's fucking, the comedy and stuff in it is risque to say the least, and it's horrendous. And I know people that hate the movie. I've had this chat with like colleagues at work and stuff and talked about it. So I know people who I chat about movies with a lot, and they're like, no, I can't stand the movie. It's just swears and F's, and it's not good. But I think they miss the charm of it. And there's a subtlety to the movie. Sounds nuts because it's not a subtle movie at all, but there is more to the movie than meets the eye. It's not just throwing a lot of bad language and a lot of horrible, sort of nasty humor and stuff. There is more to it than that. But I think it's a really good movie. And I think as you get older and more cynical and stuff, you can really get a lot of enjoyment from his character in that movie. It's
the fairy tale of New Yorker film of
Christmas
films.
There's a great scene in it where I can't remember the name of the guy. He's been in a lot of comedy films. He is now I'm trying to think of the politically correct way to say this. He is a person of short stature.
He's a quadriplegic. That's the medical term.
I can't pronounce that, so I'll say what Dim said. But there's a scene where he comes. He
has quadriplegia.
He is the elf.
Person.
He's the elf. And they go around malls, and Billy Bob plays the part of Santa, and they're in the change rooms getting dressed. And earlier on in that day, Billy Bob's character has found out that the kid that he's kind of taken under his wing against his wishes, this kind of kid that's a little bit special, he's taken it under his wing, and this kid's getting bullied by these arsehole kids at the park. They're being really horrible to him and knocking him about and bullying him and just being horrible to him. And he sees this and he doesn't stand for it. And he confronts the bullies, and the bullies get mouthy towards him, and he just ends up beating the shit out of them. And it's fantastic. He beats the living crap out of these bullies, which is like teenage kids, and he just absolutely decks them. And then later on in that scene, they're in the change rooms. He's getting into his Santa outfit in the office there, and says, what's up with you? And he's like, no, nothing. He said, just been thinking a lot lately. And he said, what did you do today? He goes, I beat the shit out of some kids today, and just it felt really good, and just sort of opened my eyes up to a lot of things and what's important in life. And the guy just looked and goes, man, you are one fucked up individual. Because he totally doesn't understand the context of it, that he's done it for good reasons, and he's kind of justified in it, but he just thinks that he's just saying, I beat the shit out of a load of kids today and it made me feel really good.
I have watched it, but I don't remember much about it.
It's definitely one worth watching again. And it always happens to me when I'm recording. I forget these names. I'm so terrible with names. Bernie Mac just came to me. Bernie Mac's in it, who plays the security guard at the mall. and kind of he's a supporting cast. He's not one of the main parts in it, but everything Bernie Mac's in, he's really good, and he just basically plays Bernie Mac and does it really well. But yeah, very, very, very good film. Love Bad Santa. Just don't watch it with your kids.
On the subject of cynical, I've got a couple that are kind of like that. I'm going to mention one just because, like, it's one of my favorite films. I watched it at quite a young age, and I think I just went through a period in sort of my early teens. To be fair, I'm not the right age for it, but like I just watched almost everything that Dan Aykroyd was in. Because and make no secret about it, if we ever get around to just generally talking about favorite films, Ghostbusters is probably my favorite film of all time. It's probably my number one, like, of all time. Just
I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but at primary school, all the other kids called me Ghostbuster Kid. That was my nickname because all I did was talk about Ghostbusters, draw Ghostbusters, wanted to play Ghostbusters on the playground, bought in all my figures, and was just literally known for a while as Ghostbuster Kid. And my mum, remember her yelling at me because I used to go around the house all day going, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. And she said to me, if you no, one more bloody time, you're gonna. And Ray was my favourite Ghostbuster too.
He's the heart of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
as Ivan Reitman says. But yeah, Trading Places.
I've not seen that for such a long time.
I know, right? It's one of those films that you watch sometime around about the 90s and early 90s when it's on the television. And you only ever watch it when it's on the television because it's just one of those films that was good, but star fell very quickly. And it's just like, it's a really, really good film. And it's top quality because you've got I can never remember the names of the two old fellas, but they did a lot of stuff, like old school character actors. They're in all sorts of other things, but the two, like, who kind of do the bet that is all of the basis of Trading Places. And then you've got Jamie Lee Curtis playing a good role, and then you've got Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy's fantastic in it. It's probably one of his best performances. Good, yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy's always quality, but he's particularly good in that.
One of his earliest ones, wasn't it? One of his early ones.
Very early. And
early, quite early for Dan Aykroyd too. Actually, he's very young face.
He looks very youthful in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have even been pre Ghostbusters.
I think it was. It was. Because Ghostbusters was, well, I don't know. Ghostbusters was 80s, wasn't it? Was 80s, yeah. But yeah, that is a good one. I didn't even think of that as a Christmas movie, actually. But yeah, of course.
It's a really good film.
But, I'll tell you what as well, not really Christmas movies, but something that I always found myself, probably because of just excitement for Christmas Day. Doesn't happen so much these days. As you get older, the magic wanes a little bit. But I always remember Christmas morning waking up stupidly early, like ridiculously early, way before it was time to start opening presents or even stockings. And I always remember like having to just wait patiently for everyone else to wake up and watch TV. And Christmas morning at that sort of 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's always like some kind of crap cartoon movie on about Rudolph saving Christmas or the elf that saved Christmas, whatever. But for me, again, there's something really Christmassy about that. So early in the morning, it's still pitch black. It's effectively nighttime, and you've got that excitement reaching fever pitch because it's the day. It's come. It's Christmas morning, and watching those kind of things, and that always fills me with that sort of festive feeling and stuff. And I always get a nostalgia for watching those kind of, I don't know, like I said, they weren't well put together or even well animated movies. They're very cliched, but just watching those sort of things in the morning, even as an adult, got me into that real Christmassy vibe. I'm trying to remember the names of some of them that I've watched, but yeah, can't for the life of me remember them. But I remember one being about Rudolph saving Christmas Day or something. But yeah, all those sort of things like that. And
That's the thing. I haven't even thought about Disney, and there's probably the odd Disney film that's got like a tangential Christmas connection.
I mean, we did discuss before coming into this about chatting about like Christmas specials as well, of like TV shows and things like The Simpsons, like Futurama, and all your regular TV shows that you always watch, and most of them would do a Christmas special. Even like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and things, they'd always have like a Christmas special around that time of any kind of thing you used to watch. I remember them sort of things. And TV shows, like for me, I'm really disappointed, even though I hate the way it's gone off the rails, in my opinion, of late, is that this year we don't get Doctor Who on Christmas Day, which again, overseas, in England, in Britain, it's always been a kind of tradition that you get the Doctor Who special on Christmas Day. And they've always been some of the best ones. And it's something they've kind of slowly doing away with. We're getting a special this year, but on New Year's Day instead. But for me, it was like even more so than like the Queen's speech. It was like Christmas Day viewing, and it was always at that perfect time. Everyone's done the presents. You've had the dinner. You have the sort of buffet bit in the evening. The kids are worn themselves out. Everyone's sitting there full up, tired, and then Doctor Who goes on the telly, and it's just that. It was like the perfect sort of way to sort of wind down after the carnage and craziness of Christmas. And I miss that. I'm going to miss it this year. It doesn't feel quite like, it feels like something's missing about watching the Doctor Who special. It was like all the presents are done. We've had all the food. That's it. It's over now. Oh no, we got a special Doctor Who coming up, which was always a big thing for me and my family to settle down and watch the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah, I remember some of the quite good ones, but yeah, I mean, it was never a big part of my routine, but I do like Doctor Who, and I do like a good smattering of it. I mean, it's a shame. It's kind of its stars faded a little bit, which is a shame for it to happen under the helm of a female doctor, because a lot of people are going to blame it on the fact, oh, they made her a girl, that's why it's shit. Not, it's because new writers.
Yeah, I must admit, Chris
Chibnall has barely had chance to scratch his arse before people have just descended. It's just like
it's been. We're going right off tangent, but fuck it. I was one of those people that was, when they first announced it, making the female doctor, I was like, oh, really, why?
Why not?
And
was my response. Yeah.
You know what? I kind of got over it, and I was like, do you know what? Give it a chance. Because I'd seen her in other things as well. I was like, oh, she's quite good in other stuff I've seen her in. And yeah.
I had high hopes.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
She's in Broadchurch.
Yeah, she's in a lot of good things. She was in Attack the Block. Old movie that was British like horror movie thing. Really, she was in Attack the Block, and she was really good in that as well. And so I gave the show a chance. But one thing I found kind of unbearable throughout the last couple of series of it is so fucking preachy, like so preachy. It's like really,
yeah, but the problem is
it's like it feels forced,
but centrist. That's the problem. It should be preachy but left, because it's Doctor Who. Sorry,
it should just be a good sci-fi show. It should just I'll get it. All right, stop.
It's that obvious Amazon episode is where it fell for me, because it's just like the Doctor would have caused a revolution. The proper Doctor would have caused a revolution. This revolution's just like, well, it's really bad, but business. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
And then in the last ones where they've just kind of retconned the whole fucking history of the Time Lords and stuff, it's been like, oh my god, really, they're really yeah, they've done something risky. I suppose you take risks in things sometimes on series and that, but yeah. But having said all that, even though I've been kind of bitterly disappointed with the last couple of series, there's been some decent episodes, and I still watch it. I'm still, because I want to like it. I'm still there. I'm still watching it. But
I like
I'm still like when I saw the
Shelley episode.
Yes,
that was the one.
Yeah, we watched that one just the other day actually, because we're kind of refreshing on it before we watched the special. But even having said all that, when I saw that it wasn't going to be on Christmas Day, I was still like, oh, come on, man. I want my Doctor Who fix on Christmas Day. It completes Christmas for me. But yeah, we went way off kilter there talking about Doctor Who. It did start off with a point because Doctor Who Christmas specials. There's a lot of them. But
I was going to say the only Christmas specials I can remember are the Futurama episodes with Santa Claus gunning you down. Like that's all I remember.
Everyone
Claus
hides
is gunning
in fear.
you down. Bender turning up. Bender turning up in the kids thing, and it's just like the family's just like, don't forget, kids, if you get caught, cyanide pills. They're just like, this is dark. And it's like, and then he's like, but I brought triamino, so like, go for his ankles.
Has Rick and Morty ever done a Christmas special? I don't think
Probably.
they have they?
Probably. There's probably some Christmassy thing. I'm sure there is.
I want to see it.
I seem to recall Rick wearing a Santa hat. And, like, I'm sure it happened. But I mean, it is basically Bad Santa, but Bad Santa for everything, and he's a scientist.
Yeah,
seems to be basically the premise of the show.
Oh my god, I can't say enough good things.
I'm also sure there's a Christmas Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community episodes. I'm sure there will be, because they're my kind of comedy comfort blankets. If I'm feeling low and I need cheering up, that's probably what I'll watch, is either Community or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, whatever happens first.
And Friends. Friends was always a good one. Christmas special, Friends.
I don't like Friends.
Oh man,
I really don't like Friends.
Oh.
I like elements of it, but it's just like Ross is such a creep.
We were on
such
a break,
bell end. And I thought he was a bell end before it became popular to hit on Ross's character.
But what about Chandler? Chandler's got to be like nearly everyone's favourite. He's got nearly all the best lines.
Well, he's the
him and Joey together.
Yeah,
it just worked so well. It was so well.
Really, really good character. But yeah, I never really got away with Friends. And it just got a bit too meta when they start bringing their pieces of fluff on, like when I mean, I suppose when you've got Jennifer Aniston and she's dating the commonly felt as the hottest guy of the 90s, like, yeah, sure, he's going to turn up in an episode.
Yeah, he had all sorts, isn't it? Brad Pitt on there.
That's what I'm on about. I'm on about
Bruce
Brad Pitt,
Willis was on it. Like, I can't remember all the rest of the names.
That's a thing. That's a thing you get with American TV, isn't it? You get like huge people turning up and just like, I mean, he's kind of like not the figure that he once was, because lots of stories have come out about him, but it's like a celebrity chef, American chef that a lot of people will know.
All I can think of is the chef from Futurama now. Bam!
No, but he's got he had like a long hair, often in a ponytail, and cooked like mostly Italian food. And he just used to have like the biggest stars on. Like there's an episode where he's like, I'm here with my friend Michael, and it was Michael Stipe of fucking REM just sitting there, and he gets some food. And he always just described them by their first name and made no big deal about them. They just sat there and he just cooked and made food. And now he was a total lech. No surprise there. But...
You can't have a point, because I know we're talking about Christmas movies, but talking about Christmas specials and things. Well, I always tend to end up watching cookery programs around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Oliver.
That air of desperation.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay and stuff, just showing you how to do it. And you're watching, you watch along with them, and you're getting really into it. Like, that's a really good idea. Like, I remember, I can't stand Brussels sprouts. I can't stand them. I think they are the food of the devil. But I remember watching Jamie Oliver doing Brussels sprouts with like bacon and stuff, and I was like, man, that looks amazing. I want to. You never end up doing it. You watch them all, and Nigella Lawson. I watched that for very different reasons.
I didn't realise we've moved on to porn.
No, I find myself completely glued to the screen. I couldn't tell you what
for some reason. Yeah.
And then she always, through the episode, she always ends up waking up for like a midnight feast. She sneaks down in her silk dressing gown to make some kind of indulgent treat at like 2:00 in the morning. And yeah, I just find myself completely captivated.
This the Frankie Boyle joke. I picked up some very good tips about making bread, and in the process, just about ripped my cock off.
Again, I have no idea if she's got any kind of notability or whatever overseas. She's probably completely a UK thing. If you don't know who she is, look up Nigella Lawson. She's
just go hot cooking lady, and you'll find her very quickly.
Yeah.
There's a couple of films I've got left to mention.
Go on, let's get back on. Let's get back on.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. We might have to get Nick in a Santa's hat telling us to stay on target.
Oh, that would be fucking cool. Yeah, I'm down for that. Right, so again, it gets mentioned quite a lot, but I really like it, and it's like I'm not really generally a fan of musicals.
No, me neither.
Can't really get into them, and I'm pretty easygoing about what I watch. I watch quite a lot of stuff. Like I watch a load of film noir and 30s stuff for reasons that escapes me. I'm guessing it's because I've got anxiety, and nothing really horrendous is going to happen on the screen of a 30s or 40s film, because the censor would have stopped it from being a film. I mean, obviously some exceptions like Nosferatu and shit, but you know what films are going to violate that trust. So they're easy to watch in that respect, I suppose. But I always struggle with musicals. Being a fan of bad films, that doesn't necessarily mean I won't watch it if it starts like that horrendous Phantom of the Opera film. And I really want to watch Cats because I really want to bask in that train wreck.
Jeez, that is terrifying.
And I want an unfixed version. Isn't it? I want the original unfixed version. I want the full... Well, you wouldn't call a cat Monty. What would you call it?
But
yeah, I feel
like some people with specialist interests might get a lot out of that film. I've seen the screenshots, I've seen the trailers, and man, that is some creepy ass shit.
Magnificently horrendous, and no least because excuse me,
that will haunt my fucking nightmares if I watch that film. I swear to God.
The story, the musical itself is already preposterous.
Yeah,
like I had known a few friends who were like theatre goers who always go to theatres and love musicals and love stuff like that and just love going. And I've asked them before, what is it that you like about Cats? And they're like, got no idea. It's just the most theatre thing that happens.
My ex tried getting me to go to the theatre with her to watch Cats and was trying to sing its praises to me and tell me out. And I was like, I don't like musicals. I don't like that sort of stuff. I'm just not into it. Or that there are some exceptions though. And she was like, oh, come on, it'd be really good. You know, she goes, you'll love it because all the women, like, they all like come into the audience and stuff and they like thrust around you. You'll love it. And I'm like, and I've seen the scene from The Simpsons where Homer is sitting there going, ooh, ooh, and there's a male cat there that's thrusting his groin into his right near him. And he's sitting there going, ooh, and you see Bart like firing a fucking slingshot and doing completely off on a tangent.
No, stay on target.
Because we're on musicals, just another quick Simpsons reference. When they go to see the Planet of the Apes musical, like so fucking good, like genius. And they break into the whole Dr. Zaius, oh Dr. Zaius. So good. Troy McClure playing him there.
I mean, the most peak for Simpsons for me, apart from Spider Pig on the film, has to be the bit. I mean, you don't really get that anymore because they don't do it anymore, but because they've got like a new way of doing it. But it's the same overall effect because there's that sound bit that comes in on the cinema, and the way that the Simpsons did it with just kind of like just bright lights blinding everyone and like super sound, and people flying out of their seats,
people's glasses shattering.
Now death. Which is so fucking on what that thing was when you went to the cinema. That just to get us back on films, but that for me was
first Simpsons episode I ever watched was a Christmas special when they first get Santa's Little Helper. That proper episode of The Simpsons after it came off the Tracy Ullman show.
That is probably the one that I watched first as well.
Yeah. And that's festive. That's a Christmassy, thing, isn't it? And it's
It's a
So
good
good.
heart-wrenching thing because like Bart really wanted that dog and he managed to get it just. But it was really good. But yeah, so musicals.
Go
um, the musicals that I like are all quirky things. Double points if they're dark.
I think I know where you're going, and I'm going to already start nodding in full agreement with you.
The ones that I particularly like are things like Little Shop of Horrors and Rocky Horror.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite is an animated one.
Yeah.
I haven't given it away enough yet.
You have. I think you have.
What is this? Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's just fucking great.
And they call him Santa
Claus. It's just delightfully macabre. I just like the fact that it, like, Mrs. like Jack Skellington is motivated by the most purest of motivations, right? And despite the fact that some of them aren't motivated, cough the free kids, cough, to be well-meaning. The fact is they all try to embrace it and try to get in on it. And of course, their efforts to do it results in absolutely horrifying things. And when the kids open their presents and they are literally the stuff of nightmares. Like, I was so impressed by how well like they are able to make those Christmas presents absolutely horrifying in what is effectively plasticine. It's
a creepy film, man. It's kind of the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? Because it has a very unreal quality to it, and the way the sort of stop motion kind of thing works, it's got a nightmarish quality about it. And one of Tim Burton's best, and it's so Tim Burton, isn't it? It's like Burton.
You've got some of Tim Burton's favorites in there, like not particularly the huge people, but like I can never remember his name, but there's like a chubby fellow with a very distinctive voice. He plays the mayor in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Who has the spinny head.
The spinny head.
Yeah.
But he was also one of the sort of he was the spiritualist dude in Beetlejuice.
Right. Yes, I know the man. I know the one you mean, yeah.
He's also probably the thing that most people will know him from, certainly of our vintage, is the assistant Baal from Demolition Man, the delightful futurism film where he's the Quisling.
Such a good movie. Demolition Man.
Yeah, we'll have to do action films at some point.
Yeah.
So it's on.
And do you know what? I feel like Demolition Man works more today than it did at the time.
Oh yeah,
you're almost seeing some of that stuff come to reality. Obviously, it's deeply exaggerated on there, but yeah, it's. I think it's a very fitting film for today, but not Christmas.
I mean, like, Rob Schneider being an idiot you want to punch. Yeah, that's absolutely true to life.
You ruined Judge Dredd.
He really did. It's still watchable.
Kind of a guilty pleasure, though. Kind of a guilty pleasure.
I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel guilty about it. My way to justify the fact I don't feel guilty about it is I think they got the casting for the Angel family absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And also, it's got
Law, the droid that is one of the greatest robots / cyborg / android that's ever been on screen. Like, just so cool, so cool. He was the reason I gave my Necrons a rusty paint job, because I just thought it was so cool, being all rusted and ancient and
I really like that, because it was like and
it was all animatronic, all like, it's so good, so good.
All of we should really be talking about Christmas films, but just the thing I absolutely love about how fucking weird the Judge Dredd film is that when Rico gets that huge android and his Judge Dredd gun, which means that the person who sold him the gun has to obviously die, because like he knows too much.
Yeah.
So he has to die.
I guess I am a judge.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm a judge.
Yeah. Like, that was Ian Dury of Ian Dury and the Blockheads.
Didn't know.
Wanted to be in a film.
It
is a nice little nod, though, because if you're like me and you're a bit of a geek, you've read some 2000 AD, and you know that 2000 AD does this weird fucking thing where it just puts in 80s, 90s, and 70s, like, pop culture all around the 2001 dystopian setting. So you've got, like, Cliff Richard Towers and shit like that. So having, like, a pop culture figure in the film is a good little homage to...
It was all part of the time, wasn't it, of the sort of punk
2000
movement and the rock and stuff. So it all kind of works together of the sort of culture of the time and that, yeah.
Because that's kind of the kind of... Because you could see the kind of deranged people that made sort of, like, British... like, peripheral... like... I'm trying to think of the word now. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, like ephemera. There we go. British ephemera of the time. Stuff like 2000 AD.
Yeah,
which putting stupid in jokes in, which is where an awful lot of early 40k comes
40k, yeah, rogue trade.
Yeah, because like the amount of
and the artwork and the tongue-in-cheek humor in it.
Well, the in jokes, just the fact that like.
It's incredible to trace it back to its roots. It really does owe a lot to 2000 AD. A lot.
My favorite one is still the Primarch of the Dark Angels. Is named after a gay poet who had a dream about dark angels called Lionel Johnson.
This is all new to me, man. Totally didn't know.
It's fucking great. You can look it up. He's got an entry on Wikipedia. Yeah. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Now I'm trying to think of more Christmas movies.
I've got two more.
Go on, go for it. Let's get us back on track.
Yeah, because
we have covered about everything except for Christmas movies.
Pretty much. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh my God. I'm ashamed that I didn't even say it already.
Not only is it probably, I would say, the best version of A Christmas Carol.
It is the best version of A Christmas Carol. It really is.
I mean, honourable mention to the Patrick Stewart one, because that's got a pretty good cast. No least because Cratchit is played by the tall one from Withnail and I. Oh God. He's also the Great Intelligence in Doctor Who. God.
I know who you mean.
Yeah, him.
I know who you mean. I can see his
Cratchit
face
in
now.
that. Yeah, Richard. I'm sure it's Richard.
Richard. No, I was about to say Richard Pryor. Definitely not Richard Pryor.
No, definitely not Richard Pryor for a number of fundamental reasons.
The only time he's ever been confused for him, I would wager.
It's nearly there. It might come to me, but anyway, it doesn't matter because the Muppet Christmas Carol is better. Not only is it the best Christmas Carol, I'd say that's Michael Caine's best performance.
Oh, he's really good in it, and he again gets you right in the feels.
Although I now know why, because the thing was he didn't really want to do it, but he insisted that he would only agree to do it if he did it in the style of a Shakespeare Company performance, Royal Shakespeare Company performance. And he does give a full-on Royal Shakespeare Company performance.
Oh, he does it perfectly.
And the fact that he insisted on doing that has made it one of the most brilliant films to watch around Christmas period. Like, if I watch a Christmas film, it's probably that.
It's a really emotional film. It really is. It's the when death takes him to his grave and stuff, and he's seen all the things and
well, the third spirit, I should say.
Yeah, and he's the ghost of the Christmas future, and he's crying. He's like, "Please take me back now." And it's heartbreaking stuff, and he really steals the show with his performance. And to get that level of emotion and stuff and things out of a Muppet movie.
Well, it turns out that the way to upstage the Muppets is to go to the Royal Shakespeare Company and become a real serious thespian, and then you fucking can.
And it's done really
and that's
good.
literally it.
I like the way it's like narrated through with Gonzo and his rat mate following them around and sort of narrating the story and stuff. You know, is really good, really good stuff. Yeah, it's
a
damn
brilliant film. It's really, really weird. But the thing that I always thought quite surprising, but probably quite good in hindsight because it's helped it age well, is that because I always thought the first time I watched it, I was like trying to guess which of the Muppets was going to be the spirits, and they're all unique. They were made for the film rather than being particular characters. And in hindsight, that has helped to make it timeless and has helped to not detract from Kane's performance. I think they probably thought it was going to be a bit more comedic until Kane started like just rolling off sonnets like he's Laurence Olivier. So like, you know, that was kind of off the table, but it was a good choice. I think it's a really, really good film.
Yeah, it is really good.
And then I've got one film that I like to watch around Christmas, and it's unusual because I want to say it like there's an awful lot of the zeitgeist around Christmas films that is to a necessary nature because most of these films come from Hollywood. It's dictated by the Americans. And being British, we do regard Christmas very differently, in spite of the fact that the whole Christmas thing is an American export. It really is very much their kind of thing. And it was sort of coming. We had a bit of it because of the German influence, and obviously Queen Victoria's husband was Austrian, I think, or was he German? He might have been German, but he brought an awful lot of those traditions to England and introduced them to the royal family. And because the royal family did it, the Victorians copied. So we had some elements of Christmas, and then around about the time we got Charles Dickens, and Charles Dickens is one of the writers in Victorian Britain, like many others, like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who was like very pro-American and interested in what the Americans were doing, and was writing stories using things that were coming from America, kind of exporting it back here. But we do have a very different picture, so it's kind of difficult to really get like sort of Christmas elements. And there is one film that for me is universal when it comes to Christmas, because it just encapsulates the ordinary everyday person's reality of what Christmas almost inevitably ends up being, which is a disaster surrounded by family, which is full of highs and lows. And that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which for me is just the ultimate Christmas film. And it's a kind of
as a father in a family, I totally relate to him throughout the movie completely.
Yeah. And it's nice because it's one of the few Christmas films that earnestly plays the kind of trying to make this perfect American dream to an extent, but very much a kind of like thing of really, really being wholesomely positive about Christmas, whilst at the same time pulling that cynicism in and combining the two into an ideal mixing pot. When we were talking about the horror films, I remember that I talked about the kind of the balancing that I like to see in a film, where if a film consistently has one mood, I don't like it as much as I like something that knows when to put the right things in. And the fact is that considering it was just like one in a long run of cashing in a very SNL style, you know, hot comedian of the week kind of films that was cashing in on like stuff, it really gets that balance perfect. And it knows when to make you cry. Would say it knows when to make you laugh.
Best of all the National Lampoon's movies. For
me.
Yeah, it's the one that's aged the best. It's the one that still entertains. And some of them you watch nowadays, some of the National Lampoons that you used to find funny at the time, watching now, and you're like, God, these are awful. But yeah, that one isn't one of those. It's a really
I
great
think,
performance from Chevy Chase in it as well.
I think that's exactly it. And part of the reason I think why it's aged so well, sorry to go into very full film geek mode, but it's because it's got that earnest promise that Chevy Chase's character, whose name escapes me, Griswold.
That's it. The Griswold family, yeah.
Is it Hank Griswold? It is Hank, isn't it? Hank Griswold?
I can't remember his first name. I just remember it is
but yeah, he his earnest promise is that it's going to be the perfect family Christmas. Everybody's going to be happy. I'm going to make it work. It's going to be perfect. I've got all of the family coming. Everything's going to come together.
Even unwanted relatives turning up.
Yeah,
in their trailer.
And what a bunch of characters they are.
Yeah,
all of them. Particularly the really, really old auntie and uncle who turns up.
Yeah,
the very obvious wig.
It's so good.
And that fucking cat. Oh my god. Well, Clark. Oh, Clark. That's it. It's Clark. It's Clark Griswold. It's like, well, Clark, if that cat had 9 lives, you just spent them all. But it's odd because normally I'm not the kind of person that tends to find slapstick funny, and most of the gags are slapstick. But that does help. I think it's very good on Universal, this film. But but yeah, Clark has got this commitment that he does about he's going to make it the perfect Christmas, and because he always sticks to it, it grounds the film. So every time it wants to be absurd, it's grounded in a real story that it has to tell. Whereas some of the vacation films go a little bit too out there and weird.
It's certainly better than Loaded Weapon.
I mean, I like Loaded Weapon.
I did at the time. I tried watching it not too long ago, and I'm like, my God, when is it going to get funny? These jokes are awful.
No, but it's the problem is that America produces, because America kind of dictates an awful lot of the tropes of the big movie of the time. American comedy can just be meta comment. And the problem is that when you try to be meta comment, where you're effectively parodying the thing that's big at the moment. Yeah. When the thing stops being big, the film doesn't work. No. The only exception I've seen that has managed to take the piss out of like tropes of a film is Airplane. It's the only one that's come out of it intact, but that is a very well-written film. Yeah, and it's one of the best of them kind of spoofy slapstick movies. It really is. It's one of the best comedies. Another Christmas movie that I very nearly forgot about, but I am planning to watch over the next few days because the missus hasn't seen it, and I need to sit down and watch it with her because I think she'll like it, is another take on Scrooge, and that is Bill Murray's Scrooged. Which I really, really like. I believe he did this. I think it followed Groundhog Day, or it was around the same sort of time as Groundhog Day. This is the problem. I merged the two together in my memory. Because it was around the same sort of time. And Groundhog Day is the better movie. It's a cracking film. It's a really good film. That's right up there in like your top comedies of all time. It really is. But Scrooge, even they've got like a very jarring southern accent from Andy McDowell, but it's, even that doesn't ruin it. It's a really good film. Yeah, she's not the greatest actress ever, is she? She's all right. But 4 Weddings and a Funeral, she had some pretty cringy lines on that. Scrooged is just like kind of like at the time a modern take on the Scrooge story, done really well, and Bill Murray just doing what he does best, playing that really cynical kind of nasty person, but with so much charm that you can't help but you can't hate him. You just can't hate Bill Murray. He can be really evil and real nasty, selfish bastard. He's just so damn likable with it. He's so funny with it. He's so good with it. That's the thing the Marx Brothers set up, is like, because they turned comedy on its head by because comedy before the Marx Brothers came along is that the only comedy you could really have is the victim, because you're going to identify with the victim. But then the Marx Brothers had films where they were the nasty pieces of work that caused horrible things to happen to other people and still made it funny. And if you've got the right kind of swagger and confidence and charisma, you can pull that off. And
Bill Murray certainly has that. He certainly has that right level of charisma. And I like the three spirits of Christmas in it as well. You've got the cab driver, the New York cab driver, who's the ghost of Christmas present.
Yeah.
You've got the ghost of Christmas past, which I can't remember who she was quite prominent during the 80s and stuff in a lot of comedy movies and things. But she plays like the fairy sort of, and she's like this sweet talking, but then she's got this real violent streak in her where she just like chins him and knocks him about the place. And and then the spirit of Christmas future is done really well with some great special effects and stuff in it as well.
I was going to say, is it not Daryl Hannah?
Possibly.
Chris in Blade Runner and
possibly.
Not Die Hard, Mad Max 2.
I only kind of know her from face. I don't know the name, but she's got a funny sort of squeaky voice, and she just plays the part really well.
I'm probably wrong. I can't remember. Like I said, I watched Scrooge once when I was young.
Well, it's on. I think it's on Netflix currently now, because I saw it the other day and I said, "We're gonna have to watch this because you've not seen this yet, and we have to watch this one. It's a good Christmas movie." And
I think Groundhog Day is the better film of the two.
Yeah, it is. And I think I swear I saw somewhere that Bill Murray didn't actually enjoy filming it at all and didn't like it, but actually ended up making his role better because he's playing cynical, miserable. It doesn't
surprise me. I
don't think he got on with the director or something. There's some kind of story about a lot of things not going well.
No, because I think if I remember rightly, Harold Ramis was directing that.
Yeah, didn't they?
Point, and that was the time when they fell out.
Yeah, very sad actually. They fell out.
I've heard conflicting stories about whether they patch it up or they don't, which is sad.
It is.
But
sad,
I've heard they patched things up on his deathbed, on Harold Ramis's deathbed before he passed. I hope it's fucking true, because they were such good friends and they were very, very, very good together on screen. Seeing as we've mentioned Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, and obviously they're in Ghostbusters, but Stripes is a fucking cracking film, and Caddyshack, and I like Caddyshack less because I kind of agree with who wrote Huckleberry Finn again? I always forget his name. But yeah, that guy who wrote that book that is important to you Americans that I always forget the name of.
I'll be your.
He always. I'm pretty sure it was him. He's got some good quotes, and I think he described golf as a good walk ruined. I happen to agree with that. But
there's one more film I want to mention, and this is undoubtedly a guilty pleasure because I've never seen it rated good ever. And every time I mention it, people are like, really? And I watch it and I know it's shit, but I love it anyway. Is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to get that damn Turbo Man doll. And you know what? I know it's shit. I know it's terrible, but I love it. I fucking love it. Yeah. It's cheesy beyond belief. It is acted horrendously. It's weird casting. It's strange casting. It's during the period where Schwarzenegger was obviously preparing for his time in office and getting into politics and needed to have a more family-friendly image rather than just gunning people down by the hundreds in every movie he was in. And he started going into these more family movies, some of which were more successful than others. But his ventures into comedy never did well in the eyes of the critics. Never.
Nice to see you.
But not his worst performance. That's probably got to be Mr. Freeze on Batman and Robin.
I just did the lines, so yeah.
That's got to be that. But yeah, Jingle All the Way. I I don't know. There's something about the movie that keeps me coming back and watching.
Oh, I'm sure there's
year on
probably
year.
a worse. I'm sure there's probably a worse Schwarzenegger performance than.
There probably is. There probably
Than
is.
Mr.
Because let's face
Freeze.
it, he's done a few bad
Because
ones over
the thing
years.
was is in because the one thing I'll say about Batman and Robin is you can derive some very limited pleasure from a couple of performances.
Yeah.
Right. One of them is I knew his name last time we were doing a video, but I've forgotten it now. But fellow was Daniel Clamp in the second Gremlins film.
Yeah, know the guy you mean. Yeah, he's the Poison Ivy's.
He's Poison Ivy's like boss dude.
Like, yeah, she's like his apprentice, isn't she?
I'm really annoyed because I love him. He's one of the best character actors, and he's in so much stuff, just playing horrendous bit parts. He chews the scenery for 5 minutes, and it's 5 glorious minutes. You can also really, really enjoy Schwarzenegger's. Just the fact he's having fun. It's very obvious that he's just enjoying himself.
You're not sending me to be cooler.
Yeah, he's just fucking loving it.
Every single line I think he does throughout the entire film is some pun on ice or cold or freezing.
Obviously, Uma Thurman is the only one trying to perform, other than the fella who played.
She goes over the top, like
the butler.
Yeah.
But
Alfred,
yeah, and I think that was his last film. But he was always really good as Alfred. He was good as Alfred in all 4 of those Batman films. I think there's 4 of them, isn't it? He's Alfred in the Tim Burtons, and he's Alfred in. Because it's Batman Forever as well.
Going back to Jingle All the Way, though, there is some genuinely funny moments in it, like when he has the fight with all the dodgy Santas who are selling the foreign Turbo Man dolls. They've got the ones from like Germany or something, or through the black market, and they're selling counterfeit Turbo Man dolls.
Oh yeah, that's a good scene.
And he gets in a fight. Who's got a few cameos in there, one of which is the Big Show. Anyone who follows WWE, the Big Show is one of the big Santa Claus, and then you've got the little mini Santa Claus who is I can't remember the name of the actor, but he plays Mini-Me in the Austin Powers movies.
Vern Troyer, the late Vern Troyer.
And there's the scene where Schwarzenegger goes to punch and the guy ducks, and then the little mini Santa gets it, and obviously wire work, but goes flying across the stage, and then they get raided by the police and stuff. But yeah, it's a terrible, campy, cheesy, badly written movie, but I love it anyway. And the creepy next door neighbor who's after his missus, and he's in quite a lot of things. Can't remember what he's called. He voices a lot of characters, animated stuff and things, but he's very good in it, and you love to hate him. And he's like the perfect man next door, and he's like a threat to Schwarzenegger, and he's always trying to move in on his lady. And but yeah, it's I'm sure I've set the comments section. A lot of people going, "Really, Jingle All the Way is a terrible movie." Which is usually
it's worth it for I think it's worth it for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah,
almost worth it for the last 10 minutes.
Which doesn't make any sense, because why would someone playing Turbo Man like actually have a working jetpack and stuff? And it just doesn't make any sense. But
don't read into it too much.
It's so good. Yeah,
it's just a really good film.
Yeah. And it's
no, it's not. It's a really terrible film, but it's
and the
really
sidekick character, who I can't remember what he's even called, the pink cat thing, which is obviously a bit of a riff off like Cringer from He-Man or something. And everywhere he goes, they keep joking, "We still got this one for sale." And they're like, and it's just like, nobody likes you, and all the kids end up beating the crap out of him at the end because nobody likes him. But yeah.
I mean, that could be a bit.
Anakin Skywalker is in it. The terrible child actor who plays Anakin in the film.
Is Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah,
is that the name?
Awful. Such a bad actor.
He's good in Sixth Sense, and nothing else.
He's in the Sixth Sense.
I'm sure he's the kid who sees dead people.
No, he's not. That is the kid who is also in AI.
I thought that was the same lad. Oh, right. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, that would probably be why that kid did a good performance, because
that is a good child actor who's real creepy. Anakin, no,
Well, the only thing I know he did
Not
other
good.
than that kid, the only thing I know what he did other than the Star Wars films, and I forgot he was in Jingle All the Way, but he's Tails in some of the. I think it's Tails in some of the Sonic computer games. I think it's Adventure at least.
Didn't know
I
that.
don't know if he reprises it in Adventure 2, but I think he's Tails in Adventure
He
1.
voices Tails and that. Oh, I can see that. Actually, his voice probably worked quite well for Tails. Oh, blimey, I didn't
Yeah, it
realise
does
that.
because he's a kid. He was a kid at the time, so it worked. I
Well,
doubt he doesn't now.
There you go, guys. Anyway, just a little something different for you. We largely stuck to a Christmas movie. We went off on talking about all sorts of bloody shit, but hell, it's kind of loose, free form. It's Christmas. Thought we'd come at you with something a little bit different. But let us know
Hopefully
in the comments section
we've drastically added to your to watch list.
Yeah. Well, check it if you've not seen some of these movies. Check them out. If you, and let us know your opinions on them and any that we missed out because there's going to be a lot. Any that we missed out that you think we should mention. Mention down below your Christmas movies, and Christmas specials and whatnot. And just let us know. And go easy on me for the Jingle All the Way one, because we're all allowed a guilty pleasure, aren't we?
Never feel guilty about enjoying a bad film, right?
That's it.
Well, unless it's Batman versus Superman, then you should feel bad.
Yeah, you should feel terrible about that. Hang your head in shame. But if anyone wants to send me a Turbo Man doll, then go for it.
I'm going to make him one now.
Yeah. Make me like a Turbo Man inspired Storm Boy.
Well, the new Turbo Man is the Primaris action figure.
There you go. That's it. That will be the Christmas toy this year. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments section. And if you like this sort of content, let us know if you'd like us to do more of this kind of non-hobby related stuff and chat about movies and random stuff because we like doing something different from time to time. And check out the link. Go and watch the Halloween special if you like some more scary movies, and go and check that out.
Yeah, we do this from time to time, don't we? We do these sort of filmy things. As you might have guessed, me and Stevo like our films, and we do quite enjoy doing these videos. So if you want more, let us know. And also another thing, if you've seen both of these, if you've seen the Halloween and the Christmas one, and you prefer one of the formats, let us know which one it is. Do you like the structured top 5 with some honorable mentions, or do you like the more let's just ramble and chat? I mean, we do stay more on point when we've got the structure, I suppose.
Just about.
Certainly more than this.
Yeah, just about.
But if you've got a preference, let us know. We totally up for doing more of these. I don't think we're going to do them too often.
No, there'll be the occasional treat, won't they?
Yeah,
there'll be something a little bit different,
just a bit of a palate cleanser. But
and hopefully at this time of year, this festive period, you've enjoyed this and got a little something out of this, whether you're hobbying along or just want to watch something a little bit different. But I guess all there is left to say is a Merry Christmas and stay safe, enjoy Christmas, have a good time.
And just remember, the reason why Darth Vader knew that Luke Skywalker, when he opened his gift wrap, he had the Buckaroo Route 2 booking game, is because he'd felt his presence.
There you go. The old ones are the best, aren't they? Merry Christmas, guys. 6+ Stevo, signing out.
And the Hobby Git. Bye-bye.